Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're interested in finding out how I went from this to this, blending two different textures, please stay tuned. Thanks so much for checking out my channel, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and like this video if you want more videos like this. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to create a straight part going back right down the middle of my head, all the way back. I'm trying to create 4 quadrants. And what I'm going to do is separate those quadrants out and put rubber bands on each one. It doesn't matter how many times it takes you to get it right, just as long as it's right in the end. So basically after that, you want to get about 4 rubber bands, or you can use the claw clips or anything that you use to divide your hair, and put your hair into 4 quadrants. Once you've completed that step, then it's time for the hair. Just make sure that they are separated and secure. We're going to start with one section, your preference, but it has to be at the top. Here we go. So here is the hair. I'm using some hair that I purchased from a supplier called Angie's Hair Express. You can find her online, angieshairexpress.com. And I'm using a closure that I purchased from Amazon. So the closure is a Brazilian texture, and the hair that I purchased from Angie's Hair Express is a Malaysian loose wave texture. And so basically the main purpose of me doing this, I guess, tutorial is just to show you how I blend the two textures. The closure was a great deal. So I think I paid about $8 for the closure. So I want to use that to save, save money. But anyway, so what you do is you start braiding on the side that you have selected to do first. And of course, my daughter came in. It doesn't take very long for her to realize that I'm not in the area, so she came in and said hello for a little while. And what I normally do is just do the front 2 braids first, because I want to make sure they're the same width, and then I'll just stick to one side and go all the way down that one quadrant. And I don't know if you can see, but I've been having a case of major dry scalp over the winter. So I haven't been keeping my sew-ins tracks in for longer than 3 weeks to a month. I like to get in there and condition my hair and um, I can't go the distance of two months. Okay, so now we're at the point where what you do is you pin back the braids. As you can see, they're not tight braids, but they are close enough, and you're not going to really see this part once you put the weave on top, when you sew the weave down. Okay, so I reused this bottle. I purchased that from Walmart. It had olive oil and conditioner in it, but I just put olive oil back in there. Um, I put it on my scalp. I went up, took a bath, and let the steam make my hair moisturize. These are all the tools that I used to complete the sew in. And what I did was I started out at the back. I unwound the thread and I threaded my needle. So then I began to braid down the individual braids that I have, uh, well, intertwine them, I guess is a good word. So I start with the one at the far corner. It doesn't matter which side you started. I have 4 braids in the back. When I braided my hair, the front 4 braids that were in the front quadrant, I just joined them together with the braids in the back. The first braid obviously had the braids from the front on either side, so it created 4, and I just use 1 braid at the far end, and I flip it over the one right beside it and sew that down. And I take the braids from the other side closest to the ear, overlap that to the middle braid, and sew that down. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so then I wanted to use the tracks. I wasn't able to condition this particular one, so I just detangled, and I used some of the oil that the olive oil that I've been using. I measured where I wanted my first track to go, pulled my thread out, and began to thread my needle again. That's the only tedious thing about doing your own sew-ins, is threading the needle. Okay, I'm going to speed this up a little bit further because it's going a little too slow for my taste. But basically, all you do is sew down your tracks, and I'm sure you already know how to sew down your tracks. Um, Going straight across for your first. Okay, so now what we're going to do is keep right on sewing in. I'm getting close to the top. What I normally do is I double track. I don't do single because it takes so long. I double. So this is the next row. And I think it gives it a lot more texture and volume, and the frizzier the better. It gives it more volume. I don't really care that one of my braids on the other side is exposed, to be honest with you, at the front, because my hair is always going to be down or pulled back in a ponytail, low ponytail, so it really doesn't matter. Um, okay, at this point, I pull all the hair that I've sewn in so far into a low ponytail, and this is where the texture blend portion begins. I pull out my closure now. Like I said, it is a Brazilian. And so what I want to make sure is that the closure is flush with the stop point at the top of the last track. I just leave enough room for the closure to fit snugly. Um, I finger comb all the hair toward the front of the closure, and I start at the back. I thread my needle just enough to go from the back of the closure to one side, as you will see. I just go down one side. I don't want to carry the thread all the way around. I cut just enough thread to do one side, and then I do the other side. Now, as you can see, this closure is not the 10 inches that Amazon said that it was, but it's okay. I'm going to work with it. And so what I do is just create the natural looking part that I want to have. And you can use any method that you use to get your closure to look natural, your part. I normally put a little powder in my part, um, just in places where the scalp is supposed to be peeking through, but I'm not like overly, I don't overdo it because everybody knows this is weave. So, I mean, as long as it looks somewhat natural, to me, I'm normally good. Okay, so I use Tresemme Extra Hold Flawless Curls Mousse. And what I do is I dampen the top part of my hair. I use one handful of mousse, and where the closure ends and the weft hair begins, I just put the mousse there because basically that's the only area that I want to define the curls. Um, and after I do that step, so first we wet the hair, then we put the mousse on top of that. Then we go in and we use some of oil, the olive oil that I used. And then when I go to bed, I just twist where I put the mousse on both sides of my hair. I twist it back. I bobby pin that section back, put my bonnet on, and I go to sleep. Then when I wake up, the curls on top are blended and marry well with the tracks at the bottom. And that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for watching.